Nick Sirianni met with you guys, and he said that he thought Jalen Hurts had his best practice of the season yesterday.
Yeah, that was nuts, by the way.
Yeah, are you surprised? Because, again, a lot of what I saw was he was okay, but a lot of checkdowns and nothing real special.
Yeah, I was thinking about that because I'm with you, Rob. I'm like, that's not his best practice. What are you doing? I think it was a little bit of a pushback against some of what you read and some of what you saw. From a coaching standpoint, though, maybe it's a positive from Nick's standpoint because he's taking what's there instead of forcing the football. So maybe those checkdowns were important from a coaching perspective.
We have our resident South Beach superstar is ready to roll. The one and only John McMullen, Birds 365. Catch him all over the channel, JAKIBsports.com. Plenty of Eagles content. John, tell me you didn't catch the stomach bug. Are you all right? That's the first thing. We're worried about it.
So far, so good. I am a little worried about it, though. I'm like, what the heck is going on? They're trying to kick us out of the facility. They got construction going on. It's a mess down here.
Okay. Jeez. Well, all right. So let's start with that, John. So they're saying it's a stomach bug, non-COVID. Went through a couple of the Dolphins players, and apparently the Eagles all checked out all right. Everybody's good to go?
Yeah, I think Sean Bradley was down with an illness, but Nick Sirianni said nobody had that stomach virus. So that part of it is positive, and, the game is set to go on. So you never know because the NFL doesn't value preseason games the way they once did. But, yeah, I was talking to one Eagles defensive coach that shall remain unnamed, and they were not happy because they were looking forward to getting some serious red zone work in against the Dolphins. And, you got to work things on the fly. And the Eagles practiced for about 70 minutes. Then they had a 20-minute walkthrough. And they did the best they could. But obviously they were down here early. They would have preferred to have a joint practice.
So, John, why wouldn't they allow you guys just to watch even a limited portion of the practice, even from a distance? Not up close, but even from a distance, just to see maybe the first.
Oh, we got to watch the practice.
Oh, you did?
We got to watch the entire practice. In fact, it was better from a viewing standpoint.
Okay.
Because they didn't let fans in, but the Dolphins weren't involved. So it was just like we were at an Eagles practice, just down in South Florida.
Okay.
There's Jeff Mosher and Adam Kaplan making an appearance.
And Jeff Mosher, two superstars walking out of the facility. Right. I get the thumbs up from Adam Kaplan. We got to watch the practice. And the Eagles defense kind of bounced back against their own offense. And they played really well in the red zone. But, yeah, from that standpoint, we got to watch. We got to watch everything but the walkthrough.
All right. When Denard Wilson, told he was kind of pissed off about, the way practice went. He wanted to go at it.
I wasn't Denard.
It was Denard.
Derek trying to call him out.
That was sneaky, man.
I'm trying, man. But
that was sneaky.
But when you look at this, and the mere fact that they're down there, they're not able to go, with another practice. Do you see the reps changing for a couple guys in particular about, going into this game? You think there will be some starters?
No, they're not doing anything in this game. Nothing. I have that on very good authority. Defensively. They are doing nothing.
They better not even put a uniform on.
They are doing first day install stuff. They are doing the most. If you had a super version of vanilla, that's what you're going to see from the Eagles in the actual game. Look, it's important for those guys battling for the back end of the roster just to show, from a talent level, or even the practice squad, because the practice squad is expanded to 16 players. So a lot of these young players that get cut are going to get brought back to the practice squad. So it's important for them. But the Eagles, from a schematic standpoint, they're not going to do anything.
All right, so when Washburn said that, he's not going to get a lot of work, and that's not working either. Okay, I'm trying, man. I'm trying. I'm sorry about that, bro.
You can't take him anywhere, John. We can't take Barrett anywhere. It's unbelievable.
Go higher up the field. That's all I'll say.
All right.
Go higher up the food chain.
All right, this I can actually attribute to somebody, John. So I'm not trying to catch you here. Before practice, Nick Sirianni met with you guys, and he said that he thought Jalen Hurts had his best practice of the season yesterday.
Yeah, that was nuts, by the way.
Yeah, are you surprised? Because, again, a lot of what I saw was he was okay, but a lot of checkdowns and nothing real special.
Yeah, I was thinking about that because I'm with you, Rob. I'm like, that's not his best practice. What are you doing? I think it was a little bit of a pushback against some of what you read and some of what you saw. From a coaching standpoint, though, maybe it's a positive from Nick's standpoint because he's taking what's there instead of forcing the football. So maybe those checkdowns were important from a coaching perspective. But when you have a splashy player like Jalen Hurts, he's made some spectacular plays in the summer. Yesterday, by anyone's account, other than a coach, from a technical standpoint, that was not his best practice. But maybe it was from a technical standpoint. Maybe he was supposed, in other words, maybe he was supposed to check down, and he did check down. And the Eagles coaching staff likes that. So from a decision-making standpoint, maybe you could argue that, but certainly not from a big play standpoint.
You know what that is? That is the continuation of a head coach building up a young quarterback's confidence. That's basically
that could be it
too.
That might be, I mean,
you know.
But I don't think he had a terrible practice yesterday.
Right.
I don't think anybody said that. I just think it was sort of run-of-the-mill, sort of pedestrian. I saw one ball go 15 yards down the field. So,
right.
You know, I don't know how you could say that was his best.
Well, I mean, I think it was more so because, you know, what the defense is giving you. And sometimes those big plays come to the detriment of what the offense is trying to do because, you know, I mean, if you're trying to go down the field and you run plays and it's not there, that's where they get the sacks from. That's where they get, you know, the plays where, you know, guys try to force them. So, I mean, I understand that aspect of it. But I think for the most part, you know, you're looking at his ability to go out there and run this offense. Did you see the offense clicking? You know, I mean, run game. Was it going, you know, in a stable manner? Or was it being choppy? You know what I'm saying? Like, all right, you know, this drive has stopped here. You know, was it a seamless transition throughout the
today was like every team period almost was in the red zone. And then they did a late start at the 25 with 40 seconds left session. So everything was sort of on a condensed field, makes it a little bit more difficult. And the defense probably got the better of the offense. So it'll be interesting to see what Nick Sirianni has to say about this practice.
They had full pads on?
Yeah, they had pads on. It was a high intensity and they were working. So,
okay.
You know, they had planned to have a real joint practice. So they tried to keep it as much to that. They just probably went a little bit shorter than what they were going to go. And they tried to get the red zone work in that they had planned to work for against the Dolphins. And, you know, that's one of the reasons why you're here. One of the reasons why they were disappointed, they wanted to see somebody else. They know sort of what their own defense and offense is about. They wanted to test that against somebody else. Unfortunately, they didn't get to do that today.
Hey, John, Slay back at practice. No issues from yesterday. We know he left a couple times yesterday. Yeah.
No issues whatsoever. So it might have been, oh, it's really hot. Tyreek Hill's out there. Let me get out of this a little bit early.
Yeah, Hillitis. Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we saw that play. I saw that play on Twitter where he was one-on-one with Tyreek, and you saw his angle roll a little bit, and I'm thinking, man, woo, that was scary.
Yeah, you know, James Bradbury was back today at practice for the first time in a while, and he started practice, but he didn't finish practice. So we have to keep an eye on that to see where he is. Obviously, he's not going to play anyway on Saturday, but it was a positive development that he was out there, and then all of a sudden he wasn't out there. So hopefully he didn't tweak that groin he was dealing with.
Well, John, who are you looking at? Oh, my fault. Go ahead.
No, Barrett, it's okay. It's all you, man. Go ahead.
Who are you looking at for this next game that you're going to focus on? Say he has a legitimate shot of making a 53-man roster.
Well, it's going to be some of those defensive backs. Unfortunately, Josh Jobe, who I think is still going to make the team, is out right now, so I think that hurts a little bit. Grant Calcaterra, I'm going to be interested in because he missed so much time with his hamstring issue, but now he's been back and he keeps showing up at practice. I asked Nick about him today, and that's kind of a tough decision because they think but he's a pick. It's not a premium pick. They like him, but he hasn't been out there that much. So what do? Do you default to Grant Calcaterra? Maybe they do if he has a big game in the preseason game and shows he's completely healthy.
John, who other than what some of the things that Sirianni said, what was your sense of just the players today? Were they just kind of ticked off at the circumstance? Because I know Brandon was in the middle of the huddle before things started saying, where are they at? And, maybe he's just typing up his teammates or whatever. But did you get a sense it was kind of like, yeah, good.
I don't think ticked off as much as,
it's hard
to it's hard to refocus yourself. You're getting hyped up for that June practice. It's far more competitive to be, and then it was got to scale it back down. You got to go and practice anyway. It was more of a, how do you get that effort level up to where it needs to be after being disappointed a little bit? I think it was more about that.
That's fair. So what's the game plan tomorrow? Is tomorrow off, a walkthrough before Saturday? What's the rest of the week look like for the
Eagles? Tomorrow's a walkthrough in advance of the game. If there is a game, and again, there's no belief right now that there's not going to be a game, but I've seen too many things happen over the past couple of years in NFL with preseason. If this keeps going through the Dolphins, the stomach virus, who knows? So you got to keep an eye on that. But right now, as we stand here, they're planning on playing the game. So the Eagles are preparing for their walkthrough, and then it'll be game day on Saturday night.
Last one. Go ahead, Derek.
So, John, how do you spend your rest of your day from moving forward from here?
Well, I got about 87 more hits to do here on JAKIB Media. No, I got football 24/7. I got writing to do at JAKIBSports.com. I got writing to do at Sports Illustrated. I got a lot of stuff to do, guys, and I can't
Stop
get
slacking.
That's a lot of checks there.
Stop
bro.
slacking, John.
It's a lot of checks, man.
Hey, B. Brooks, you got more checks than anybody, bro.
Thank you. There you go. There you go.
I love it. So lastly, John, who stood out today? Anybody look good at practice? Anybody jump out? Anybody catch your eye?
Avonte Maddox. Darius Slay had an interception. Avonte Maddox had an interception. He showed off his vertical leap, which he does. He had one earlier in training camp where he's got like a 40-inch vertical, and he went up to get it. He was really impressive. The defense really bounced back. Fletcher Cox steamrolled Isaac Seumalo for a big loss at one point. Defense really bounced back today. So it was definitely a defensive tilted practice and a very short one and a very intense one for the Eagles.
All right, John. Well, listen, man, keep up the good work. We appreciate you hopping on, and keep us posted if you're hearing anything, any news or anything like that. But thanks for your time today. Appreciate it.
Be good, bro.
All right. Yeah, John was breaking up a little bit. Yeah. Thank you, John. Yeah, catch him, JAKIBSports.com, all the other hits that he's doing throughout the course of the day. And, of course, every day, Birds 365. All right, so here's what we didn't even get a chance to really get into everything we're going to be doing today. So Jason Avant's going to be joining us at 2 o'clock. Looking forward to talking to Jason. A little later, we'll talk some Phillies. Bryce Harper's at it again, guys. I mean, this is just unreal. Actually, can I even say it's unreal? It's just who he is, I guess.
It's status quo, man.
Yeah.
We're talking about the MVP, man. With status quo. This
dude is ridiculous. He's on a different planet than everybody else exists on. So we'll get into that, some of the things that he had to do. Will he be up sooner than we thought? But when we come back, we'll continue with the Eagles discussion. Guys, they got to cut this thing down, man, to 53. Pretty soon.
Tuesday.
Yeah, man, 5 days away. We'll get into that. and get into the question of whether or not the Eagles are legitimate Super Bowl contenders and some of the other teams that they may be vying with here, because there's a major injury for the Cowboys, which we teased a little bit, Barrett. Yes. We'll get into it because this is a big blow for Dallas, which we'll talk about. So a lot to do. You don't want to go anywhere. We will keep it rolling. We are Sports Take, JAKIB Sports YouTube Network. Derek, Barrett, Rob on this Thursday. All right, let's talk a little finance. Let's talk a little principal and my man Jim Murray. Look, it's difficult finding the right person that you trust with your finances, with all the hard work, with your future, right? I found the right person. It's Jim Murray. He can help you investing. He can kind of alert you to things, trends, all those kind of things. That's what he's done with me, whether it's retirement planning, 401k review, insurance review. If you have a small business and you need help with your employee benefits, they're all the things that he can help you with. And if you're not really sure, you can call and just get a consult. I've entrusted my IRA, my 401k roller with Jim, and I couldn't be happier. And you can be too. Give him a call, 610-996-4751, 610-996-4751, or you can email him at Murray, MURRAY.Jim@principal.com. That's Murray.Jim@principal.com.